In Greek mythology, the first labor of Hercules was to kill the Nemean lion. It was a massive beast with skin no weapon could pierce. People tried attacking it with swords, arrows, spears. Nothing worked. So what does Hercules do? He drops his weapons and fights the lion with his bare hands. He wrestles it and eventually defeats it. Then he does something interesting. He skins the lion using its own claw and then wears the hide as armor. The very thing that almost killed him becomes a part of him, something protective, something powerful. The threat becomes strength. The fear becomes armor. You may have heard the quote, "What does not kill you makes you stronger." Contrary to popular belief, it's not Kelly Clarkson or the Joker who said that line, even though the Joker technically did say stranger. But either way, it's not them. It's the 19th century philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. Another version of the idea is expressed by the transcendentalist poet and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson when he says, "In general, every evil to which we do not succumb is a benefactor." And then Joseph Campbell, the mythologist who spent his life studying the world's stories and symbols, said, "The demon that you can swallow gives you its power." These are all expressions of a timeless existential idea found across literature and mythology. The idea is this: transformation through suffering. Now let's get one thing out of the way first. Yes, not every challenge makes you stronger. Some make you weaker, some traumatize you, some even break you. My purpose in this video essay is not to romanticize suffering or give you false expectations that all suffering will lead to self-expansion necessarily. Instead, my intention is to focus on the archetypal idea of transformation through suffering so that you can subjectively rediscover its reality within you and hopefully find reserves of transformative strength within. And why is this important? Well, too many people these days are trapped by the idea that anything difficult will be too much for them to bear. So often we focus on that which may overwhelm us and don't focus on that which we may overcome. I want to focus on the moments where you discover that deeper strength, a new layer of awareness, a kind of grounded resilience. This doesn't come with gaslighting ourselves into believing that our suffering is not real, but it also doesn't come with pretending that only suffering is real. The transformative power of the strength that we may discover through our suffering is absolutely real too. And the funny thing is, reconnecting with this capacity is especially important for people who feel broken or worn down by life, because it is by taking on small but significant challenges again and finding your core strength again that you get back on the road to healing your relationship with life. So let's rediscover this capacity within by looking at other ancient stories that have carried this timeless truth across cultures and generations. Stories where struggle is not the end, but the beginning of something more integrated, more awake, more human. Let's go to Hindu mythology, to the Samudra Mantan, the churning of the ocean. In this legend, the gods and demons work together to churn the oceans to get Amrita, the nectar of immortality. But before they can get the nectar, a deadly poison rises to the surface. A toxin so powerful, it could destroy all of creation. Everybody panics. No one wants to touch the poison. Then Shiva, the god of destruction, steps forward. He doesn't destroy the poison. He doesn't try to get rid of it. He drinks it. He holds it in his throat. The poison turns his neck blue, and from then on, he is known as Nilakanta, the blue-throated one. What does this mean? It means sometimes the way forward is not to avoid the poison, but to contain it, to take it in, hold it carefully, and not let it destroy you. Just like Shiva neutralized the poison and assimilated it into his being, we must often sit with the unavoidable discomforts of life and allow ourselves to endure them until our response to uncomfortable stimuli becomes neutral. Toxic distraction, addiction, denial are all temptations which arise at this juncture. But when we build our capacity to sit through struggle, we unlock greater resilience. Let's now go to the Norse legend of Sigurd and Fafnir. Sigurd, the legendary hero, kills the great dragon Fafnir after a long and treacherous battle. After slaying him, Sigurd does not just walk away. He roasts the dragon's heart and he tastes its blood. And when he does so, something changes within him. Suddenly, he can understand the language of birds. Now, in Norse mythology, birds are often messengers of divine insight. By taking in the dragon's blood, by absorbing the power of what he just overcame, Sigurd gains new perception. He sees more, he understands more about the world. The same thing happens in real life, albeit with way less dragon blood drinking. But the same thing happens in real life when you lose a job, you get betrayed, you hit a wall with your health, or maybe you just hit a point where life feels meaningless and everything seems like noise. What happens then? Sometimes you shut down, you get stuck, you numb yourself, and that's okay for a while. Numbing is a natural survival response. But if you stay there too long, the pain just sits there and festers. It doesn't go away. It turns into resentment or bitterness or apathy. But if you can face it slowly, even just a little bit at a time, if you can take a closer look at what the pain is trying to show you, then something else can happen. You start to see the outlines of your values. You realize what matters to you more than comfort. You build new muscles mentally and emotionally, not by avoiding pain, but by staying present with it, by learning from it. And then over time, the pain doesn't become good, but it becomes useful. We all know people who've gone through hell and come out wiser, not necessarily happier, but clearer, stronger in a way that feels real, not performative. Yes, we also know people who came completely bitter and broken from their painful experiences, but that is just one dimension that we over focus on. It's time to focus once again on the optimism with which we can face pain and suffering. We need to focus on the people who metabolized their pain, turned it into fuel, who took the lion's hide, swallowed the poison, drunk the dragon's blood. This is not about glorifying suffering once again. It's not about saying everything happens for a reason. Some things don't happen for a reason. Some pain is senseless. But even in senseless pain, you can still choose. Will this become the end of your story or the start of a new chapter? Let's be honest, not all of us get to choose our struggles, but all of us at some point will be handed one. A betrayal, a diagnosis, a disappointment, a loss. What matters most is not that it happened, but what you do next. Do you avoid it? Pretend it didn't happen? Try to go back to the way things were? Or do you sit with it? Ask what it's trying to teach you. Take one honest step forward. Because if you can do that, just that, you're already walking the same path as Hercules, Shiva, Sigurd. You are the one who wrestles the lion, not with swords, but with sleepless nights and hard conversations. You are the one who swallows the poison, not in a myth, but in holding back rage so your child doesn't inherit it. You are the one who gains insight from pain by finally understanding the patterns that kept you stuck. And that's where real strength comes from. In choosing not to give up when it's hard, from integrating what you went through instead of pretending it didn't happen. So yeah, maybe what doesn't kill you can make you stronger, but only if you do the work, only if you face the thing, only if you're willing to transform and be transformed, not just survive. You don't have to like the pain, but you can let it shape you into someone wiser, kinder, clearer, and more grounded. Know that there is not just a cost in suffering. There is often a hidden gift, if only you will claim it. And my dear friend, I hope you claim it. Until next time, see you in the next video.